Mysterious scratches appeared on her baby's face. When she reviewed camera footage, she trembled in fear. There are sounds you hear in your house or things you see that immediately fall in the odd category, but end up being predictable, like the unwelcome invasion of a rodent. Then there are other problems that can happen, and they fall in the category of the unexplained, but clearly a problem that needs to be addressed or avoided. For one mother, noises in the night became far more than an occasional irritation, and ultimately ended affecting all of her family as well. Heather Brew had had enough. She kept hearing noises at night while she was trying to sleep, and it had gotten to the point that she was confronting her fiancé Joshua about the racket which he was denying. Finally, she set up a monitor in her child's room where it seemed to come from. However, what she ended up seeing was more than she bargained for in the process. The fuss started with Heather finding scratches on her baby's face and an unexplained racket every night. There were only 2 people in their home, her and her fiancé, so Heather finally confronted her partner about the matter. He denied anything, so she set up a video monitor to catch what was going on in the guest house they were living in on Joshua's mother's property. The young couple had been borrowing the guest house from Joshua's parents to have a place to live starting a new family. Heather and Joshua had just had a baby daughter and had spent their first year focusing on raising their new girl. However, at about 13 months or so, Heather noticed something odd about her child and realized the baby's face had been scratched. The first scratch was chalked up to the child's fingernails. However, the scratches kept showing up with new injuries on the baby's face. Finally, Heather decided to question her fiancé, as he was the only other person who had been in the guest house with the child besides Heather. It didn't help their relationship. The couple were in a simple but ideal world. They lived in a small town, quiet, and enjoyed their new life together with their baby. They were deep in love, and a baby daughter had added another aspect to their relationship. Now things seemed to be unraveling out of control. With her senses on alert, Heather woke up one night when she heard noises in the house. There was a floor thump, a door squeak, and sounds like someone walking around. The next morning, there would be new scratches again on her child's face. Small, but they were new each time. Now it was time for confrontation and to pin down what was going on. Heather went right to the jugular and asked her fiancé if he was getting up in the middle of the night and moving around. Specifically, she asked if he was going into Lily's room at night. Was the truth going to shatter their wonderful home? Joshua denied any possibility of moving around at night or going in their daughter's room at night, but Heather didn't believe him. She heard the sounds and her daughter's face kept getting injured. If it was really Joshua, then Heather was going to have to catch him doing the harm and figure out why. Maybe he was sleepwalking. Maybe he was taking drugs and not in his straight mind. She didn't know, but she had to figure it out. Josh continued to refuse acknowledging anything was his doing. Heather started feeling like she was somewhat losing her mind. Clearly, something was harming her child. Something was making the noise in the house at night, and something was creaking the doors. But Joshua was flat out refusing any of it was him, and Heather made sure everything was locked before going to sleep. Eliminating all the quick and immediate explanations, Heather started realizing that another possibility could be occurring. The video monitor was going to confirm things conclusively. Either Joshua was involved and he was lying, or something else was happening. The couple agreed to get a monitor and set it up just to have peace in the house again. The couple made sure the baby's crib was in full view of the monitor. Heather also trimmed her daughter's fingernails to ensure they weren't the cause as well. Joshua was sure that was the cause because babies are prone to scratching their faces during sleep, from what he had heard separately. The couple didn't cut corners on the monitor either. They made sure that the Logitech Circle 2 they bought could produce a clear video image and would continue to record everything going on, as well as with the night vision, showing anything moving in the dark. The next morning, their daughter Lily woke up again with scratches on her face, new ones. The video was going to make it clear what the heck was going on. Heather was convinced she would find the answer. She was right. However, it wasn't the answer she was prepared for. It was something else. The video did indeed catch a figure in the room. It wasn't Heather and it wasn't Joshua. There was a man's blurry image. which at first she immediately assumed was proof Joshua was indeed involved. Heather could see the man in the room walk past the baby's crib. She could also see her daughter was awake and noticing the presence. Her baby sat up in the crib for attention. The figure then turned towards her daughter, and Lily gets closer, standing up using the crib wall. At this point in the video, Heather knew immediately the figure was not Joshua at all. Heather literally had a physical reaction run through her as she realized what she was looking at. Her heart felt like it stopped. The man was unknown, a total stranger in her child's room. She couldn't blink or turn away. Who the heck was this figure in her child's room at night? And how did he get in? The figure didn't stop with Lily. He kept moving around the room. Heather had to get to the bottom of things and figure out how this guy was getting past locked doors into her child's bedroom. She also needed to know how he was harming Heather's child. Heather felt like she played the video over 1,000 times with the repeat detail. The mother could see the figure was at one point see-through or transparent. She was not dealing with something normal. Heather felt a chill at that second and reached for her daughter. Whatever the reason, Heather didn't take long to put two and two together. The guest house was haunted. She confronted Joshua again and demanded that they leave the home immediately. The scratches on her daughter's face didn't calm Heather any further. Heather continued to react in shock. She was crying, questioning, panicking, and freaking out. She grabbed a jacket, her daughter, and ran to Joshua's mother's house nearby. The scratches didn't come from Lily. The size and distance didn't match her baby daughter's hand size. Joshua was relieved and scared at the same time. The video proved it wasn't him, but something else was definitely in their house. He needed to protect them immediately. He practically stumbled outside right after Heather and called the police. The police didn't discount what Joshua and Heather reported. Instead, they were referred to the Scientific Paranormal Investigation of Michigan, an outfit that focused on investigating issues that didn't follow the normal rules of cause and effect. As it turned out, the baby was not the only one affected. Now it was starting to make sense. Heather finally admitted there had been mornings she would wake up struggling to breathe like someone was choking her, but no one was there. So she thought it was a bad dream. She would also hear a male voice like someone swearing, hitting their shin on something. Mike Priest, one of the paranormal investigators, already felt there was a good chance they would find something. The details and descriptions matched up behavior the team had seen before in other homes and locations that turned out to be haunted. Barely started on the investigation at Heather's home, and the team knew they had a live one. They would hear sounds, quirks, reactions, and more to their presence. Mike quickly shifted the team to a full investigation mode. Good paranormal work tries to follow the scientific process, objectively confirming what's going on, observed and reconstructing it again repeatedly. Mike's team follows the same process with video and tracking to repeat the same results that Heather described in the baby's room. The mother-in-law speculated quickly the figure was the ghost of the last resident in the guest house. When they bought the property, an elderly lady had lived in the guest house and died on the property, but that was in the main house. The death was due to a stairway fall and accident. Joshua's dad thought a different story applied. A tenant had been in the guest house and turned out to have been schizophrenic. He was the brother of the lady who died. While the paranormal investigation ultimately did not confirm anything further, Heather and Joshua were far from over with the issue. They weren't going back into that guest house. The video that Heather's monitor had recorded ended up on the internet, and that triggered a viral reaction as the images were shared. Soon enough, a number of skeptics started voicing their opinions that the video may have been faked. Kenny Biddle was a particularly focused skeptic, asking a lot of questions about the details on the video. He noticed shadows which shouldn't occur with a real ghost. In short, he summarized the video figure was actually being one of the parents getting up in the middle of the night, walking through the room, and unaware he or she had been recorded. Further, the scratches were common with babies and sharp fingernails. However, what Biddle really found blew a lid off the whole thing. As it turned out, Heather had set up both a Facebook page and a GoFundMe page. The Facebook page had been around since November 2018. The GoFundMe request page was established on March 26, 2019, requesting help to raise $5,000. The reason? Moving costs to escape a paranormal guest house. Kenny Biddle followed through on the contact deals to Heather's Facebook page to get more info and ask questions. This was normal. He had been investigating supposed paranormal events for 2 decades. He referenced Heather's video and asked if he could see the entirety of the recording versus just the clip with the mysterious figure. Unfortunately, while Kenny's questions were fair given the publicity of the video and Heather's GoFundMe page asking for help, he never got an answer. To date, Heather has yet to respond to the information request at all.